Everybody, and welcome back to Advanced Training Made Simple. In this video, I'm going to show you one of the training setups we did for pre-national training. This was for the 2024 National Amateur Retriever Championship. This is a water setup that we have. We actually have 3 guns in the field. We shot it in different ways, and it really depended on the dog and how the handler wanted to run it. Most people did this as a double and then a single. And let me show you how we had this set up. We had the line set up just in front of that black pop-up tent furnished by Purina. Thank you, by the way. Wind was not ideal. It was kind of coming into our face, but there was no way to avoid it on this setup. And the terrain slopes quite a bit more than what it looks like. And like I said, this was typically shot as a double first. It'd be that right gun going off and it retired. And then the left gun came out and threw a cheaty mark that acted as the go bird. And after the double was picked up, we ran a retired single that, as you can see, was just about right over the top of that retired bird in that first double. And as you can imagine, this turned out to be quite a challenging little setup here, especially with the factors that are presented. I believe this dog is running this just as a retired single. It'll be this bird on the right. You can see the gunner just walks back and gets in the holding blind. To watch this dog run, think about the factors that are affecting it. First of all, it's falling off the hill fairly hard. It also could be seeking a little bit more water than what it actually needs, which pulls it to the middle of the pond. But just watch and see what happens here. And to save time, I'll speed the video up. And as you can see, the dog actually does a nice job on this. It's not the preferred path, but it'll work. Next, we'll do a standout single on the left bird. And this one is cheaty. And folks, it's actually a little bit more cheaty than what it appears in this picture. Depending on the position of the drone and how the thing is set up, it just does distort the picture somewhat. This dog actually takes a really nice line. I remember from running it at the line. The true line to this bird is just about where this dog is. Maybe outside taking a little bit more water was the more true line to it, but actually this is a really nice job. Now let's run this long bird. We're doing this as a retired single, and just as a reminder, we're running this just about right over the top of the mark, that first mark that we ran. As you can see, the dog starts out on a good line, but gets in trouble a little bit later, and I assure you folks, this wasn't the only dog to do this. Mine fell into the same trap, not exactly in the same manner, but it did get caught up in that old fall. You can see where the dog kind of made the bad decision to go back. And if you'll wait just a second, the dog is handled right there. At this point, the dog is recalled and then resent. And I believe in this case, the gunner remained hidden and the dog was simply resent. And as you can see, the dog takes a less than perfect line. It starts falling off the hill and the gunner is asked to step out and help. Okay, here we go with another dog. The double has already been shot, so the bird on the right retires and the dog is going for the go bird. You can see from this angle, this is a picture that shows you a little bit more of a true line to this bird. Dog does a really nice job slicing into the water, and I believe it goes on out and picks this bird up nicely. Now here the dog has retrieved the go bird and is about to be sent for the memory bird on the right. As you can see, the dog takes off on a really good line, but it starts drifting right. And remember, the hill is actually pushing it from right to left. But right about here, this dog decides, land might be a little bit easier. And I'll tell you, just my opinion, I think from the time that dog was sent, it knows exactly where this bird is. It was just getting a little bit lazy. And I think you'll see the dog getting stopped and a correction at that point, and then recall back to the place that it really made the wrong decision. Okay, the dog is brought back and it's handled. The handler gives a slight left cast on that. It was not a hard left to get into the water, but it was just enough to say, nope, correct your line, let's go get the bird. And watch what this little fella does after that, and it just supports my position that the dog knew where this bird was the entire time. Something to keep in mind, these dogs running this, there's not a slouch in the bunch. Most of these are FCAFC dogs. So these setups, even though we have them broken down into training setups, they're pretty challenging. This is the same dog that just ran the double. We'll do the long single. And the gunner shoots, throws, and retires. The dog is sent. And notice the line. right here. And once again, folks, I'm pretty sure this dog knows exactly where this bird is. It falls off the hill a little bit to the left, but we'll see what it does. See, the dog falls off the hill. Obviously, it can't help but take water. Hunts a little bit short, but then a couple of loops, picks a bird up. Does a nice job. And once again, the dog knew where the bird was. Okay, we have another dog on the line. This one is also running it as a double and a single. Okay, here we go. The dog sent for the go bird. The dog has returned from the go bird and is about to be sent to the memory bird on the right. Watch this dog. It takes an interesting path to this bird, but the bottom line is it knew exactly where it was. There was no doubt whatsoever. But right about here you think, man, this dog could actually, really wind up cheating the water. Then it starts leaning toward the water, runs around that little clip right there, hits this, goes to the point. Now watch what it does once it gets right here, because it would be so easy just to make that loop, but it goes back into the water and just runs up and puts its nose on that bird. Fantastic mark. Now, just my opinion here, for a training mark, I'm not sure I wouldn't have made that dog take a little bit more water. You're splitting hairs. This is the same dog that just ran the double. It'll be running the retired single. Now, like most, it takes off a little bit left and is really running kind of straight at the gun station. But this one is managed a little bit differently. If you'll watch, the handler is going to blow a whistle and cast this dog off, because as you can see, it's coming up on land right there. But the true line is down this shoreline to that bird. Now, after the whistle and cast, watch what this dog does. It's really perfection after the handle. Okay, folks, that's enough for this setup, but I have quite a few other of our training sessions filmed, and I also have a good bit of the 3rd series and the 5th series of the Nationals filmed. You'll find that on Advanced Training Made Simple.